Okay, welcome back. Under the pressure of time, I was getting along with this is greater than method, and let's continue this part before I tell you one thing that we need to add before this for loop. So, we're going from left to right, correct? So let me get out of live zoom and go into this kind of little mini zoom type of thing. So, if we're going from left to right, a bigger number at some point is going to have a bigger value here. So if we're comparing, for example, 3,658, alright, we could have something like 999. But the fact is, remember, everything's at the beginnings initialized to 0. So if we're going from left to right, we see, okay, this point, uh, this point here, what I'm highlighting in green, they're even. One's not greater than the other. But this point here, this number is obviously greater than 0. So this whole array must be the bigger number. And as far as I know, the logic completely works and there's nothing wrong with it. So let's go ahead and implement that. And we'll see. We'll probably have to be using our switch, not our switch, but we have a translate character arrays. Oh, well, we call them switch here. I call them translate in my other program. Switch into car, switch car to int. So, let's see. Where's my logic? Let me get string close that. It's getting confused. All right. So, let's see. If I 0, and we'll have to take that and call our switch from car to int here. So we're going to call that. If that is greater, let's see, let me just copy this, stick that there, and replace the I with the O. So open the block, get rid of that red line. So if, let's call I digicharacter array and O outside character array, because that's what they're going to be used for the most. If digicharacter array of position counter, not 0, a position counter or index counter is greater than this, we are going to say that I is greater. So, oh, and that's another thing. We have to determine how's this being compared. So basically how I'm going to have it compare, or the logic that I'm going to use for this, is that I'm going to assume that the structure, well, that I, when we look at the array in O, that we are going to be making this statement, that I is greater than O. So that the first character array we provide as a parameter is greater than the second one. Or, no, actually I wanted to do it the opposite way, I think, because that's the way I think I did in my program for whatever reason. So we're going to test if O is greater than I. I know this looks strange to you, but I just want to stay consistent with the other program that I'm working with. So if this statement is true, return true. If this statement is false, return false. So if let me go into live zoom. So if O at any time is greater than I, return true. Alright. Now we just have to do the opposites here. Return false. Or, yeah, I mean, I think we should do it this way. Let's see. Let me pause the video and make sure my logic is sound, as Spock would say. Okay, it seems that my logic is sound. The only thing missing here is this. Remember, we stuck that statement in the beginning, with the idea that just to satisfy the IDE, or at least the compiler. Otherwise, we would get a syntax error if we don't provide something here. But I realized that if, for example, we are going through this loop, right? And let's say, for example, I is just a character array of all zeros, and O is also a character array of all zeros. It's going to go through this loop over and over and over again, and it's going to determine, well, 0 is not greater than 0, 0 is not greater than 0. Okay, in the end, it will come to this statement. So, it won't, neither one will be greater than the other, they'll be the same, so it has to return false. So that is also a possibility. Alright, and also I wanted to further justify why I'm making it so that I'm testing specifically if O is greater than I. We will be calling the isGreater method from the main method. So what we'll be doing is providing a line something along the lines of isGreater. We'll provide it numbers. So first of all, we'll have something initialized. So if it's initialized, we'll initialize the object. I don't know if I'm spelling this right. To, let's say, 120. All right. And we are going to test isGreater is what greater. I'm going to want to know if this 125 is greater than 120, I think. That's the logic I'm using. When I call this method here, I want to know that this number that I'm putting in, as which will be converted from a long to a string, whatever, I want to know if that is greater than the 120. So that's kind of my justification for choosing to do it that specific way. Alright, so I think the isGreater method is sound. So let's see, what do we, oh, of course, I never modified this. I have to modify this the same way I modified the isEqual. In fact, I think I could just copy this exact thing and just paste it there. And of course, instead of having isEqual, I'll have isGreater. So let me copy and paste this there. And also, this will be setting the outside array. So copy that, and let's see. That won't work for that. That only works for the long here. And let me see. For the huge integer, we use the getString method, so I could copy that and paste that here. Alright, so we're getting a lot of our project done. We've gotten isEqual, isGreater done. I got a minute left. Let's see. Well, isLess to me is going to do something of the same exact thing. So let's start setting that up before I get the alert of my video ending. So we're going to have a, oh, and I forgot to make this private. Private. So private boolean isLess. It's going to be using all of these parameters, just like all the other methods. Oops. That just ran out of time, so I'll be seeing you in the next video.